Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Little by little we are informed who the big Pentagon Papers leaker is. We were told that he is a little game chat room something like that, a little guy over there. Alright, now we receive some more information on who exactly this guy was. But they will offer us, they being the mass media, they will offer us all kind of characteristics of this person, but they will avoid other characteristics to mention. You remember, if they have this kind of characteristics already known by this guy, probably they know much more about him. I mean, I'm guaranteeing you they know. I'm sure they know. But they pick and choose how to paint the guy. They do whatever they want. The problem is we're not idiots. And I gotta tell you that in the current environment, social environment, when someone does something, there are certain things that are overemphasized. Like, for instance, when someone gets elected for office, or someone gets appointed in a big important governmental position, they tell us that that person is the first that was elected over there, everybody's, or the first who was appointed. We made history. Well, those characteristics we don't find in this in these three articles that I picked for you and for me, and I wonder why, but I'm assuming they will soon come. But you can figure out what kind of person that is just by the headlines provided by three articles that I picked. Let's go to the first one, which comes from Washington Post, but is via Business Insider. The man who may have leaked top secret Pentagon documents was a fit, you know what it is, and armed military guy who controlled a group of weasels, right, of young gamers united. He controlled them, but they were united by something, by their worship of guns and God. So I think we have a very clear understanding who this fit military gun lover and God worshipper was. Don't you think? I think it's very clear. Now, he's fit. That's great. That tells me he has got a certain kind of lifestyle. He's not eating like a pig, and he's not sitting in front of a computer 25 hours a day, if you know what I mean. Not 24, 25. And armed military guy. Oh my God, armed. That's not good for these guys anymore. And military guy, he might be part of something, I don't know, militia, or we don't know yet. And from what I read down here, a little bit here, he used to work at a military base. He worked on a military base. I don't know what he was doing over there in the 20s and a military base. We're gonna find out. No, it doesn't tell us that he's the first in anything. All right. Now let's go to the next article. Washington Post again, but this is via Reuters, I think. Yeah, Reuters. And then it goes like this: big U.S. intelligence leak was by gun enthusiast in 20s. So he was a young gun enthusiast. Now I don't know if he was a he or a she, but if I look down here, maybe they put a pronoun he. So he's a he right here. But that's bad because you assume that he identifies as a he, and that's a I don't know, thought crime, hate crime, something nowadays. Now let's move to the third article from The Guardian. Now these guys add something that the previous two articles left out, but you kind of could figure it out. Pentagon leaks linked to young gun enthusiast who worked at military base. That's another one. And I have something else for you as well. But let's read a little bit what these guys are telling us about the alleged perpetrator, or at least the guy who leaked the Pentagon intelligence paper or information. Now, remember when I said these guys add something? You don't see it here. You don't see it. It's a Guardian. You don't see it in the title. But I picked this one for that exact word that is not here. But let's go back. And this is, leaker is, because that's where I got it, young racist gun enthusiast, report says. But this is the title, so that's where I picked. I said, okay, let's go. Bing. When I go over here, hey, they dropped a word here that I couldn't find. Anyway, I don't think it's important, but for them it is important. So we got all this information about this guy, so we know who this guy is, who they tell us it is. Now, we have it. The Post also viewed a video of a man identified as OG at a shooting range with a large rifle. And I'm quoting, he yells a series of racial and anti-Semitic slurs into the camera, then fires several rounds at a target, end quote, the report said. Well, that's the guy that, that's what we have to know about this guy. I don't know. I could, care less technically what people say, good or bad. If they don't act in a certain way, we can have all kind of thoughts. I mean, I might not like the color green, and let's say green is an acceptable color right now. Or maybe I would like to, I prefer a certain kind of letter. Let's say the letter, K, which was my favorite letter since I was a boy. And I'm still a man. Okay, I didn't transition. I'm not that fluent or fluid yet. I don't, Anyway, so maybe tomorrow or the next day, the letter K will be somehow something politically incorrect. I'm for freedom of speech until you act stupidly and you incite violence and so on. So in this case, these are the important characteristics the mass media, the US and British mass media considered that we need to have about that guy, who did something that some people obviously consider as a negative activity or action, and some others could say, well, wait a second, I can see something in that. Like, for instance, Assange, Julian Assange. Without him, without WikiLeaks, we probably wouldn't have known certain things that we know now about certain kind of hanky-panky things that happen around us. We might guess, we might have Snowden around, but without these two, just take these guys out, and there are things that you might, think they're over there. You might say, yeah, I'm pretty sure they're over there. I've been around the block a few times. I don't see why not, but you can't really say it, because if you say it, you can say it, but you're not basing your statements on evidence. You base it on, logic and, by all kind of process of elimination and all this, and say it's almost normal to be like that, but you don't have the evidence, and you can be called all kind of names which you don't give up. You know what I mean? But on the other hand, when a guy like Snowden or a guy like Assange and others come forth and say, like the other one, Manning or whatever her name is right now, I can't remember the first name, the one that transitioned in prison or something, or after she or he was released, Chase Manning, how I don't know, whatever pronoun prefers that person. See how politically correct I was. Anyway, no, I mean, if someone wants to believe in something, that's their choice. If someone wants to be something else, they can be whatever they want. The problem is, I don't want that to be imposed on me. I should be still allowed to pick my own representation of reality, as they can pick their representation of reality. So if they represent their reality as being, I'm a pair of glasses, well, I have the same right to say, no, you're actually a little mouse. Okay, so why your interpretation of reality trumps Donald Trump's my interpretation of reality, we know that because of the badges and victimhood thing. So here we have it. You pick whatever you want from this guy being a gun enthusiast, a racist, what else was over there? Fit. That's a bad thing nowadays because he's not a sloppy burger eating and Coca-Cola slurper. And that's fine, okay? He's not that. Military guy, he worked on a military base. Now, I don't know if he worked as a mechanic. I don't know if he worked in the 20s. How far can you go? You probably is a very low level something, anything in a military base. I don't think you're 27 and you work as a general or in the intelligence. But you can say, wait a minute, Emil. Remember Snowden? Yeah, I remember him. I just mentioned him. He was like in the 20s, right? When he worked in the, wasn't he? 27, 28, when he worked in the, wherever he worked, in the intelligence community, just getting information and transfer it. So he had that clearance at 20-some, and he was able to tell us a lot of things. So yeah, I say that, but it's a military base. They're going to expand, and he had documents to share. They said, I don't know, what documents can you have at 20-some? I mean, what are you, lieutenant or something? A military base where? In the center of Pentagon somewhere? A military base inside a Pentagon? Or a regular freaking, what, oh my god, information you have? Because if you go over here in the first article, let's go over there, because that's kind of important. It's important right here. So he worked on a military base and sent his gamer friends hundreds of secrets. I don't buy that. Sorry. Sorry, he was in the 20s and he sent his friends hundreds of secrets. Hey, I'm going to tell you a secret. I got balls. That's not a secret. Come on. But maybe it is for some. Here it is, my friends. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.